Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jude. I make videos about medicine, lifestyle, and personal development. Today, I was thinking of a content that would be both informative and entertaining. And in the spirit of this, I came up with this very content, a true life story that actually happened in Western Nigeria in 1946. So in 1946, in the Western Nigeria, in the what is now known Oyo State within that region. And why I'm so much interested in the story is because it was a case of a medical doctor committing suicide, and it was actually uncalled for, in my own opinion. And I would also want to get your opinion about it. So stay tuned. A medical doctor that just returned back to Nigeria from the United Kingdom decided to take his own life. And what happened and what was the story behind this event? Actually, he was the first son of the Elesi Oba. In Yoruba language, Elesi Oba means the king's horseman. And in the Yoruba cultural practice, as at that time that this event happened, the king horseman is supposed to commit suicide after the king's death in order to go and usher the king into the afterlife. But in the case of this Elesi Oba, whose son was the medical doctor in quote, this particular Elesi Oba failed to perform these duties due to circumstances that were both within his control and not within his control. If you want to get much more details about the story, I would advise you read the play by Wole Soyinka, which is titled Death and the King's Horseman. It's actually based on this true life event. But I'll try and give a summary, okay? This particular king horseman who was supposed to commit this suicide ritual following the king's death had some initial delay because he had fantasies he wanted to live at. He had some pleasure he wanted to indulge in before he finally would perform his duty of the suicide ritual. And mind you, this was actually a cultural practice in that region as of the time. It was not the first time it was happening from the way the story was portrayed. So at the long run, because of the unnecessary delay, West got to the colonial masters that such a thing was happening, and they ended up interrupting and stopping the process of the ritual suicide. And because of this, the villagers were scared that calamity is going to come upon them since the king's spirit will not be ushered into the afterlife according to their cultural belief. And coincidentally, the Elesi's son, who was sneaked out of the country years before this time by the colonial local officer serving in that region by the name Simon Pilkins. He had just finished, his name actually is Olonde, that's the first son of the Elesi Oba, the first son of the king's horseman. His name Olonde. He just finished qualifying as a medical doctor in the United Kingdom, and this was the first time coming back to Nigeria. And it was the same time this event was happening. And I was wondering when I got to this part of the story, was it that his village people were calling his name? Why is it that it is actually that time he decided to come back to Nigeria? Well, who knows? Whoever the gods wants to kill, they first make mad. This promising young man that just qualified as a medical doctor in the United Kingdom, on coming back to Nigeria and discovering that his father was not able to fulfill his duty by completing the suicide ritual so that he could go and usher the king into the afterlife, decided to take it upon himself to complete this ritual by sacrificing himself, by literally killing himself, like committing suicide. In his mind, he was going to usher the king into the afterlife. And actually, this made me to wonder, this is someone that has been in the United Kingdom for some years and has had a great deal of exposure. So why was he still thinking in that manner? First of all, I respect the fact that he still respected his culture. If you read the play, you see that initially, while conversing with the colonial local officer, he was not pleased with the way they treated his people. He was angry with the fact that they didn't really respect their cultural practices, and that just that they don't understand their cultural practices shouldn't mean that they should disrespect their practices. That I quite understand. But going to the extreme of committing suicide ritual, being that he was not just a peasant. He was not just like one of the masses. He was someone with a lot of potentials. In fact, being probably the only doctor in that entire region as at that time, it would have been more useful being alive than offering himself to some gods. In my own opinion, though, he would have been of greater services to his people being alive. That was like wasted resources for me. I was very, very brokenhearted when I got to that part of the story. What do you think about that? Do you think he was rational in his thinking? I believe it's okay to honor and respect one's culture, but then it would have been expected that with some exposure comes some level of rationality. And so one would expect him to condemn some cultural extremism, which this was a part of, but rather he promoted it and even believed it enough to give his life for such a cultural practice. So what do you think? Let me know in the comment section. And mind you, as of today, this cultural practice is no longer being done. It has faded away with knowledge. So do you think he actually made the best choice by doing what he did? Just let me know in the comment section, because in my own opinion, I don't think he made the best choice. It would have been of greater services and value to his people being alive. So this brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed the story. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you have not liked this story, this is a good time to do so. And if you are new to my YouTube channel, kindly subscribe so that whenever I post content on medicine, lifestyle, and personal development, you'll get notified instantly. Thank you and have a lovely day.